It's been 1 month since I quit social media for good, and there's no turning back. I quit social media not because I am strong-willed or disciplined, but because I lack all of these things and I desire to be better. J.I. Packer, a great theologian who recently passed into glory, said that the Puritans lived a slow enough life to think deeply about God, and that's what I long for. I'm afraid if I continue to be on social media, I will constantly live a life with a distracted mind and fragmented focus, and I do not want that for myself. I desire to live for something greater.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while, but I am back. If you're new here, my name is Kate and I post faith and fitness related videos on this channel. And in this video, I am going to be talking about why I quit social media and what I learned ever since I embraced digital minimalism. So I hope that this video explains why I disappeared on Instagram and why I plan of never going back and why I'm no longer active on Facebook. So a month ago, I decided to quit social media for good. It's actually been 5 weeks now, so yeah, it was definitely one of the hardest decisions I've ever made, but it was so freeing. It was hard because I've been on social media for quite a long time now, and I was definitely a little bit, definitely more than a little bit addicted to my phone, and I had to do something about it. So I deleted my Instagram account, which means that it no longer exists and I cannot get it back. So I already said goodbye to my cute pics and goodbye to all the flattering comments. And I've not been active on Facebook for 4.5 months now. I've only posted once. I posted a graduation photo of me to just let my family and friends back in the Philippines know that I survived university. So I stopped using Facebook when I was writing my dissertation paper for my theology degree, and I was surprised that I survived life without Facebook, and so I just realized that life without Facebook is so much better. I decided, however, to keep posting on my YouTube channel because this is the platform where I can share the creative side of me, and I absolutely enjoy sharing with you guys what God has been teaching me, just talking about theology, the Christian faith, and sharing my fitness journey with you guys. And I'm just very passionate to encourage you guys to grow and persevere in your faith and share my love for living a healthy lifestyle as well. So why did I decide to quit social media? Simple answer, because it became an idol for me. I remember listening to a pastor once and he said, "Show me where you spend your money, your time, and your energy, and I'll tell you what you worship." Honestly, it consumed my time, energy, and focus for the wrong reasons. I was constantly on my phone, always checking what's new, and it became a normal habit for me to check my phone all the time, and it affected my relationships around me, and not only that, it also affected my spiritual growth. I decided to quit social media because I wanted to strip off any distractions that would hinder me from running the race of faith with endurance, because I want to prioritize my relationship with God and my relationships that I have now. I quit social media because I want to protect my focus, my concentration, and my mental health. And most importantly, I want to live for what is eternal. I've always known that social media was a huge distraction in my life, but somehow I've always been scared to give it up. And so I've reflected about it, I've journaled about it, and prayed about it for quite a long time now actually. And so far I've read 7 books on habits and how our phones are changing us. So I asked myself, what would life look like if I quit social media? Then my heart sank because I thought to myself, man, I can't quit social media. God showed me how I clung so tightly to social media that I couldn't give it up. Every morning I do my morning stretch, and whilst I do my stretching, I listen to my favorite hymns. And this was a month ago. I was doing my stretching and this song came up, and it's called Draw Me Close, and the song goes, "You are all I want, you are all I've ever needed, you're all I want, help me know you are near." And I was getting emotional because I couldn't sing along to that song because I know that it wasn't true. I love the attention and the entertainment that Instagram offers me, even though it was a massive distraction in my life. So that very morning, I deleted my Instagram. I have been wanting to quit social media for a long time now, but I could not do it. And even though it was hard for me to admit that I was addicted to my phone, I finally admitted to myself that I was addicted to it and I had to do something about it. Hebrews 12:1-2 says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith." How can we fix our eyes on Jesus when we are constantly fixing our eyes on our phones? Filming 15-second stories for everyone to see, posting cute pictures and formulating a good caption that is relevant so that everyone can relate to it and hopefully comment on our posts. We are constantly wanting to see what everyone is up to. The writer of Hebrews tells us to throw off everything that hinders, the sin that so easily entangles. In order for us to run the race of faith with endurance, we have to let go of these little things, even the things that we think are harmless, because these little idols that we carry are slowing our pace down. I often struggled reading my Bible in the morning because of social media. I don't listen well to my friends because my mind was divided. I've been on social gatherings and everyone is on their phone, and I've been on friend dates and I feel like we were physically present but we were mentally absent. Why? Because we found social media more interesting than having a proper conversation. Our fleshly inclinations are always pulling us towards the things that would give us pleasure right here and right now. And yet we know that social media is detrimental to our mental health. We say that we hate how much we spend time on social media, but what are we actually doing about it? Here is the tea. Social media is engineered in such a way that is easily addictive so that many people will spend plenty of their time using their services. According to Cal Newport, a computer engineer, he said that many social media companies hire attention engineers who borrow principles from Las Vegas casino gambling to try and make the social media apps as addictive as possible because that maximizes their profit. And yeah, we fall for it. I definitely fell for it. Furthermore, behavioral scientists and psychologists tell us that the more addicted we are to our phones, the more prone we are to depression and anxiety, and the less we are able to concentrate at work and sleep at night. Jesus said, if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. Jesus is not meaning it literally, but he shows us the intensity of sin and its destructive consequences. So what happened when I deleted my social media? How did I cope? And was it hard? Deciding to quit social media was definitely hard for me. I actually cried when I deleted my Instagram because I was in shock of what I was doing. The act of dying to my selfishness was very painful. I was attached to my Instagram like a monkey on a tree. It was a very hard decision, but definitely one of the best decisions I've ever made. The first 2 weeks was definitely the hardest. I felt like I lost a limb. I was so used to checking my social media every now and then on my phone, and it was definitely weird when I check my phone and I have no social media apps anymore. I actually messaged a friend and I told her that I had this massive fear of missing out, and I was so anxious about not having a social media presence, but I knew that it was the right thing for me to do. I was no longer a slave to my phone. Kevin, my husband, definitely noticed positive results when I quit social media. I became a better listener to my husband and to my friends. My focus and concentration was not as fragmented as before, and my mind was no longer distracted all the time, which was so good. Kate, are you being legalistic? You might be thinking, I think you're being too much, Kate. I think that you're being legalistic and unrealistic. I don't think that I'm being too much or legalistic. I am not trying to quit social media so as to gain God's favor. I already know that I gained God's favor, not because of what I did, but because of what Jesus has done for me on the cross. And if Christ died for me and calls me to follow him with all my heart and calls me to die to myself, how is quitting social media too much? Holiness is not a popular concept in many Christian circles anymore, and is something that we ought to be pursuing because we are called to be holy just as the Father is holy. Tony Reinke says, if your scrolling hand causes you to sin, then throw it away. And theologian Sinclair Ferguson warns us that it is better to enter heaven having decided to never use the internet again rather than enter hell clicking on everything you desire. Having social media does not mean that we are completely out of God's kingdom, but it can mean that we are much more prone to temptations and sin such as jealousy, pride, gossip, idleness, procrastination, and it causes us to see revealing images that we cannot unsee. Being addicted to our phones and social media results to many things that God doesn't want for us. There are costs to being addicted to social media. We trade our time, energy, and focus instead of getting to know our neighbors well. It encourages us to be prideful and show off the things that we have and to share our achievements, and that's definitely one of the things that I was very convicted about. I was so sick of being vain and sharing what I have and what I look like, and I was sick to my stomach of how I spend so much time on my phone and not having time to have a proper, deep, meaningful conversations with my husband, not have time to be intentional to get to know my neighbors and to get to be around in my community. On the other hand, I know many godly people who are on social media, and I think that it is awesome because these people are wise in their social media usage. There are plenty of good ministries that use social media as a platform to share the good news of Jesus. Social media is not this evil thing that we ought to hate. I'm not saying social media is this evil thing, therefore we have to quit it altogether. But it is the hearts behind the screens. So I want to ask you, what are your motivations behind your social media usage? It takes a lot of prayer and discernment and wisdom and self-control not to be controlled by social media. Now, I am not anti-social media. I am just pro conversations, pro meaningful relational conversations. So what did I learn since I embraced digital minimalism? One massive lesson I learned ever since I quit social media was that there are so much more fulfilling things in life than just having a social media presence. And being off of social media gave me time to reflect on the most important things in life, and that is my relationship with God and the relationships I have now that God has given me. Being addicted to social media hindered me from flourishing as a follower of Christ, and it hindered me from building relationships around me. Deep, authentic relationships that takes time, effort, and actual social interaction. So here is my advice to my fellow Christians who want to use social media for God's glory. First is to know your priorities. Remember that our mission field does not stop in what we share and preach on social media. God has placed us wherever we are as ambassadors for Christ. Our family, our friends, our co-workers, our community is our mission field as well. Don't let the busyness of social media take you away from deepening the relationships you already have. Last but not least is to always give the glory to God. It is easy to fall into the trap of self-glorification. Trust me, I've been there, and even just taking a little bit of glory to ourselves, we are essentially just building a kingdom to ourselves. And so I just want to encourage you to be watchful, be wise, and be prayerful that those who are following you are essentially following Christ, because he is the one worth following and he's the one we are proclaiming, not us. Okay guys, that is the video for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will link all the books I've read if you are interested in embracing digital minimalism, or if you just want to be wise on how to use social media. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. If you do like my content, like and subscribe, and also feel free to DM me. No, not DM me anymore because I don't have Instagram, but feel free to email me. I will put my email address down below. So yeah, that's it. Grace and peace be with you guys. See you in my next video, but for now, much love and God bless. Bye.